We welcome you live to the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series Season number 4. Las Vegas playoff opener, and we are here tonight from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The playoffs are going to be underway. This is it. It's Vegas, the first race of the playoffs. The regular season is over. It's time for some Cup Series playoff racing. And we are here live from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway tonight. Welcome you into the booth. Cars are on the racetrack. Sorry, we're live a little bit late. We're actually trying something that didn't really work. So we'll see what happens with that. So cars are on the racetrack here for this warm-up session at Las Vegas. It's the playoffs. We're officially underway here in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series for the season number 4 Cup playoffs. As Trenton Wilkin and that number 12 machine going to come down pit road. Of course, Trenton Wilkin in the playoffs for the first time in his career. Back at 1 and 2 goes that number 8 of Cameron Chandler. Top of the board so far is Braden Hunsicker. So, of course, 12 playoff drivers enter tonight here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Here's the 8 of Cameron Chandler, your winner in Daytona last week. Of course, 2 wins on the year, Bristol, and of course, the Daytona regular season finale. He's going to head off turn 4 and back down this front stretch here at Las Vegas. And of course, the way to tell between the playoff drivers tonight is if you look on the ticker or on the race cars. Let's start with the race cars. You can take a look at the playoff banners on Cameron Chandler's machine. You got a playoff banner on where the name rail is. You also got the playoff purple splitter and then the orange splitter back there as well on the 8 car of Cameron Chandler. And then take a look at the ticker. You look at Matthew White, Braden Hunsicker. Both their numbers are in purple and they have P's next to them. That indicates that that driver's in the playoffs. All right. Here comes Matthew White. There's the 81 Sean Hillquich down the backstretch. He had a really good end to his regular season. Made the playoffs for the first time in his career. He can head off turn number 4 and down the front stretch here at Vegas. Of course, playoff kick starts tonight. First race of the round of 12, like we mentioned earlier. Here comes William Reagan in the playoffs for the first time in his career. What a regular season he had, especially in the stages in that 36 machine. Won a stage at Michigan, got really good stage points all season long. That kind of basically boosted him and helped him make these playoffs tonight. Down the front stretch he will go in that 36. All right, it's not even 10 minutes through this warm-up session here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series playoff opener. Down the backstretch, that's the 72 of Connor Aswell. He had outside of his win in Fontana and then a really good finish last week in Daytona, he had a rough regular season. Missed the playoffs, of course. Oh, and he's going to slam into the 12th Trenton Wilkin. Of course, like I said, he missed the playoffs this season. Won a race still, like I mentioned, but that really wasn't what he wanted whatsoever. All right. Still, of course, all up and running here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's about 21 minutes to go here in this warm-up session. There's the 88. That's Landon Johnson. All right, Landon, you're on track right now. Currently 16th on the timing sheets. This is one of your favorite racetracks that is on the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series schedule, heading back into 3 and 4. So what has been the feel about 10 minutes into this warm-up session so far on the track?
It's pretty neutral. I mean, just kind of like running next gen to Las Vegas. It's fast, and about 10 laps in. Tires not really falling off yet, though.
Yeah, as Johnson gonna head. Oh, and the wall goes running. Suarez up here, and a couple other cars gonna crash. Sorry about that. Zane Rahman. Oh no, now Landon crashing big time, hit into the wall on the backstretch for that 88 car. He will slam the fence. There's the 81. That's Sean Hillquich. Once again, heading down the front stretch here at Vegas. And of course, still underway here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway tonight for the playoff opener in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series this season from Vegas. and Suarez in 31. There's the 8 of Cameron Chandler following in behind his the 2 drivers that were top 2 in the end of the regular season points. Matthew White and Cameron Chandler heading down the front straightaway. Matthew White currently top of the board here in Vegas so far. Hilquist goes to 2nd place. Good lap for the driver of the 81. Here's the 9 of Bryce Benson. He had a pretty good regular season. Unfortunately, fell down pretty well in the points, especially after his suspension after Watkins Glen. That was definitely not a highlight of his season, but ran up front, so close to so many wins this year, just had so many taken away from him. As tonight, maybe finally the night he gets his first career win. We'll have to wait and see. Surprisingly, shockingly even, Bryce comes into this playoffs with no playoff points whatsoever after running up front all season long for the most part. That is shocking, to say the least. But he, of course, is in the playoffs for the first time in his Cup career. 2nd full-time Cup Series season for Bryce Benson. And, of course, you're the Season 1 Cup Series champion and regular season champion for this season. Matthew White heads down the front straightaway here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Probably a driver and fan favorite. It's Las Vegas. There's Diego Rodriguez back in the 3 and 4 in that 11 Toyota. He had a pretty rough going in the regular season this year. Missed the playoffs. Here's the 71 of Cole Clausen in the playoffs for the 4th straight season. Has never missed the Cup Series playoffs in that 71 car for M&F Racing. Of course, your Season 2 Cup Series champion, Cole Clausen, back in the 1 and 2. So far, we see 7 out of the top 10 drivers all in the playoffs. That's definitely something to watch out for. Playoff drivers obviously going to have probably the most speed and will all definitely be favored to win. Maybe some Xfinity Series drivers that have a lot of experience coming in here later. Like a mess that big strain here in the 3 and 4. There's the 29 of Richard Cherry, of course, full-time in the Xfinity Series. He's made a lot of Cup starts over his career, though. So close to a lot of wins, especially at Indianapolis a few seasons back. So tonight, maybe the night Richard Cherry can break into victory lane. On the bumper, Braden Hunsicker as they head back on a 1 and 2 here. Side by side between Jacob Clarino and Zane Ramon. Clarino, big drive down to the inside lane. Oh, he's gonna get loose, and that's the first car we see overcorrect hard into the wall. That's gonna be something you gotta avoid tonight. Especially if you're at the front of the field as Brandon Piper gets slammed there in the 98. He will go around into the wall. Goes Piper. Obviously something you do not want to happen to you tonight at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Here comes John Butler in this playoff for the 2nd straight season. He had a very solid regular season, a lot of top 10 finishes as well. Really, really consistent. Still without a win, but consistency was key making the playoffs, especially for those last few spots. Of course, no win in your own format whatsoever. That was possible. Connor Esville would be in the playoffs tonight, but of course he's not. Because he won a race early in the season and completely missed the playoffs. Here's the 96 of Andrew Stacy. He had a horrible start to his season. That really set him far back. Had a pretty decent second half of the regular season. Really finished well in a couple of races. Unfortunately, obviously wasn't enough. Finished way behind the playoffs in the 96 in his rookie campaign. He made the championship 4 last season in the Xfinity Series. So he's definitely got some talent. Let's see what he can do next year. And how he can finish out this regular season for him. There's the 0-2, and that is Perkins heading through 3 and 4. That's his Cup Series debut tonight. Side by side, down the front straightaway, two of the best drivers in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series, Matthew White and Cameron Chandler. Chandler, he's on the wall through 1 and 2 here. iRacing is, God, being annoying. Boy, that's a lot of lag.
That's funny.
So,
What Andrew Stacy hits, bro.
Stream quality is terrible right now because iRacing is just frame dropping every 5 seconds. Sorry about this. Hunsicker is through the middle. Look at him. Oh, he's going to get nearly turned by his teammate White, and they're nearly going to crash in the back straightaway, and there goes the 8 of Chandler around. He'll spin him back. And will slide back nearly to the racing surface for Cameron Chandler. Alright, so hopefully the frame rate is better. Oh my god, I heard something just explode. Oh, it's a big crash down the front straightaway. Multiple cars are involved. 77 Hunsicker, then one is Zane Rahman. Trent Wilkins got big damage. Here's Andrew Stacy, the 72 of Connor Asbell as well. There's CJ Erdman, and here's Rich Cherry. All right. Frame rate is really, really dropping. I don't know why. Give us one quick second. We'll be back live here in a minute from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. All right, car is still on the racetrack here at Vegas. There goes the 70 of Ethan McMillan. He's had a horrible regular season. Of course, way out of the playoffs, not even close. Got eliminated way before Daytona even. Okay. Or so minutes to go here in this warm-up session from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Still got some cars, of course, sitting on pit road right now. There's as far as there's the 36 of William Reagan rolling on track. Still top of the board is Matthew White. Top 7 drivers, all separated by less than a tenth of a second, just over a half tenth of a second. That is close to the front of the field here. Should continue throughout qualifying as well. There's no margin for error up there, obviously, because of that stuff in practice so far. Bryce Benton will have to stop here in the backstretch. 11 minutes to go in the warm-up. Oh, it's Richard Cherry. Looks like he's having an issue. He's going to spin down the front straightaway on the apron. He will almost barely hit the wall there. There's William Reagan to the inside of Zane Rahman. So another interesting thing tonight is going to be to see how these non-playoff drivers race these playoff drivers, especially ones that run the playoff fight and that are now not. Does it change for drivers like Payson Lindsay, Andrew Stacy, Connor Asbell, or is maybe it stay the same? They keep up their aggression. We'll have to wait and see. Hard on the wall goes 36 of Reagan, driving it really deep, and now he's going to go to the wall again. Here's Dylan Banks down the front straightaway. Your defending Cup Series champion, of course. Only one win this season. He's come close to a couple others, like at Kansas. Probably could have won there as well. A couple other races coming to mind also. Looking to defend his Cup Series championship this season. It all starts tonight in Vegas. Oh, he's going to get hit by Jacob Clarino there in the 33. All right, about 10 minutes to go here in the warm-up session from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This is a big one. It's the playoff opener. Side by side here, Eli Tomlin has missed the playoffs. Another driver that missed the playoffs, Andrew Stacy, and now they're going to spin down the front straight. Oh, this is going to be a big hit. Tomlin hard on the wall. So is CJ Erdman. They will crash here in practice. There's the 11 of Diego Rodriguez ripping the boards. He had a good run in Daytona, ran up front. Rodriguez will head down the front straightaway yet again from Las Vegas. All right. There is Pace and Lindsay on the track now in the 99. Of course, oh, he's going to get turned here. New paint scheme, jet puffed on the race car this week. Pretty cool marshmallow scheme for Pace and Lindsay. But of course, it's been well documented. Pace and Lindsay missing the Cup Series playoffs this season for the first time in his career. Bad regular season all around. The suspension as well didn't help. Just missed the playoffs. Still had a chance into Daytona, unfortunately. Did all he could. Ran it really well, as also it just wasn't enough at the end of the day. 8 minutes to go here in this warm-up session from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Here's the 28 of Alexander Ortega. Of course, he has multiple Cup Series starts this season. Gotten to 2 wins. He's, of course, full-time in the Xfinity Series. Really good there. His win at Watkins Glen this season in Xfinity is in those playoffs. 2 wins this season for Alexander Ortega. He's really good at a 1.5 mile tracks. He won at a 1.5 mile this season in the Cup Series at Chicagoland, beating out the 9 of Bryce Benson here, which could have been his first career win. And then he also beat him out in Nashville. Benson has finished second in both of Ortega's wins this season. So I don't know how much Bryce Benson is really liking Alexander Ortega right now in that portion. Down the front stretch goes Connor Asbell here. Back into 1 and 2 they'll go. All right, now just over 8 minutes, just under 8 minutes to go here in Vegas. This warm-up session. Of course, Sun will be setting as well in this race. Here is the 13. That is Max DiFilippi running a new manufacturer this week. Of course, he's full-time in the Xfinity Series. He's made a lot of Cup starts as of late. Now in a Ford, Caesar's Palace, and the Las Vegas Raiders on that car. This is an interesting one. Zane Rahman in the My Little Pony car. That's Tootsie's on board. That's interesting to say the least. Man. Of course, Cup Series qualifying coming up next here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 2 laps to do it. Of course, it was 1 lap last week at Daytona, but that was only for super speedways. Landon, you're back 27th on the board right now. I haven't seen you on the track in a bit. Are you on the track right now? And what has been kind of your struggle so far in this session?
Oh, no, I've just been playing on my phone.
Oh.
I'm sitting on pit road. And I'm not a practice guy.
All right, we'll see what Landon can do here in qualifying coming up.
We don't qualify either.
Oh, we'll see what Landon can do in the race. Do you not race either?
Yeah.
We'll see what Landon can do post-race.
Here for the start part money.
Back in 3 and 4 goes Logan Giesbrett in the 80 car. He's had an okay season. I mean, not really blown any expectations out of the water. Missed the playoffs, of course. Had a good run early on. Was actually in the playoff bubble the first couple of races of the year. Unfortunately, that all went away. Just bad runs, just crashes. But he'll look to finish off his season strong. Oh, crashing back there on the inside. Hunsicker and another one. That was Bryce Benson. So I'm not sure where Connor Havrilla or Ashton Miller are right now. They're both in the playoffs. With the jet puffed car of Pace and Lindsay back down this front stretch. All right. Back into 1 and 2 goes Ronan Suarez there in the 31 car. He'll head once again down this backstretch. Ahead of him, the 94 of C.J. Erdman. He's in the Xfinity Series playoffs, of course. All around here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Las Vegas Motor Speedway has never been in the Cup Series playoffs until now. Of course, it was always like an early season race for the last 3 seasons, so that's why it's been literally over a calendar year since the last NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series race here. 13 months ago. That was won by Aiden Donahue. That was in season 3, of course. I mean, it was only last season, but 13 months ago. Early in that last season. All right. Back in the 3 and 4 goes Eli Tomlin in the 90. All right, about 3 minutes and 20 seconds remain. Be right back. Qualifying coming up here from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway with a Cup Series playoff opener at Las Vegas. Welcome back live here to Las Vegas Motor Speedway tonight in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series Las Vegas playoff opener. About a minute and 50 seconds to go in this warm-up session here in Vegas. Qualifying, like I said before, coming up next. 134 laps tonight, 201 miles. The halfway break going to be at the end of lap 67. I know, very funny, 6-7. What are we, 5 years old? Yeah, I know, hilarious. It's always been like that, so I don't know why we never noticed. But back in 1 and 2 goes the 09 of John Butler.
Oh yeah, up to P24.
Wow, what a lap by Landon Johnson. Only 2/10 off. I mean, that's just how close. If you're, what, 26th, I think 25th on the board is about 3/10 off the leader. That's insane.
I was like half a second off.
I think you were 27th.
I don't know how far I'm off now.
Ethan McMillan is the last driver that has made a lap 27, that half second off. I mean, you're talking like, I don't even know. Like
I went like 4/10 quicker. I was like at 30.2.
Dylan Banks is going the second on the board. Top 3 are all playoff drivers. This is going to make qualifying very interesting here. Because
I think the top 13 has like 10 playoff drivers in it.
Yeah, the top, what? Top 10 drivers are all separated by less than a 10th of a second. That is close.
John!
I think someone found John Butler. Yep. His teammate and his driver, actually. Landon, how proud are you of your 2 drivers, John Butler and William Reagan, making the playoffs this season?
I'm proud, bro. That's a better record than Ethan Trindler.
Okay, we've never raced. Nice try. And my team has 3 drivers in the playoffs, so.
Just got information from FedEx employees. Oh. I'm the 13th seed.
Nice try, Jeff Gordon.
This is 2013.
Oh my God! John Butler gets destroyed by Pace or Zane Rahman, and that will do it here in practice. Practice is over. It's time to qualify in Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the playoff opener. Here we go from Vegas. Let's see who's going to be starting on pole. So, of course, here's the all-time poles leader, Matthew White in the 7. What will he be able to do in this session? As he pulls on to the racetrack in that 7 car. So many poles in his career and this season. Most all-time wins. He's looking for his 20th career NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series win tonight. It's Braden Hunsicker, the 12. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, for anyone that wasn't here before, welcome in live. Playoff drivers will be seen by the playoff banners on their car. For example, here, William Reagan, you see the banners, the spoiler, the splitter, and also the purple number and the P next to the driver's name. That's got a lot to do, with a lot of stuff to look at to see who's in the playoffs. As Matthew White heads back into 1 and 2. So, of course, got 2 laps here in qualifying to set the starting lineup. Down the backstretch goes White. In the 3 and 4 goes the 7 car. Can he win yet another pole? There's Hunsicker still on pit road. There's the 70 of Ethan McMillan. He's looking for a good result tonight. 81 of Sean Hill, which heads down the backstretch. There's the 50 of Connor Haverilla. He didn't make any laps in practice. First playoff driver. So far, fastest first car for the line is Matthew White. Reagan is only not even a 10th off. Rodriguez slots in there, so does Pfeiffer. Still got a second lap to do it. We'll see if anyone is able to improve on lap 2. Reagan gets loose. Here's John Butler back on a 3 and 4. Matthew White.
It's quick time.
Matthew White, I believe, is running slow and will only do this lap. Still got a ton of heavy hitters to go. Only 3 playoff drivers are White, Reagan, and Hilkers. They're the only ones that have won. Hilkers about a 10th. Oh, and the wall he goes. He'll qualify provisionally P3. Now he'll be down to 4th. A lot of cars still yet to go. Payson Lindsay, first non-playoff driver in the top 3. He goes 3rd. Ethan McMillan across the line. He's outside the top 10. 11th last of cars that have ran. Richard Cherry goes 5th on the board. Here's CJ Erdman now heading back down the front stretch. Cole Clausen in the 71 car. To the line he goes. What is it going to be for Cole Clausen? It is 6th so far. He'll go hard on the wall. So far, of course, on provisional pole, Matthew White, but still drivers like Cameron Chandler, Bryce Benton, Trenton Wilkin, Dylan Banks to go. Jacob Clarino, what a lap by him, puts himself 2nd. He's been so good in the Cup Series starts that he's had this year. Of course, full-time at Xfinity really hasn't performed there well at all. Tonight, and especially even after finishing 2nd at Indianapolis this season, it's been an incredible Cup Series early campaign for Jacob Clarino, currently provisionally 2nd in qualifying. Here's Cameron Chandler, Braden Hunsicker also on the racetrack. Cameron Chandler, your winner last week in Daytona, his 2nd win of the season. Got 2nd in the on the regular season standings as well, give them 10 bonus playoff points. They'll go across the line. Cameron Chandler, only 9th. Wow. It's kind of shocking. It's the 12th.
He's washed.
Yeah. Here's 28 of Alexander Ortega. Watch out for him. Max DeFilippi back in the 3 and 4. Urban coming up pit road. Here comes Bryce Benton down the front stretch. Benton 3rd. That's only lap 1, 2. We'll see what, if anything, happens on lap 2. Back into 3 and 4. There's Eli Talman across the line. Hunsicker, he is done, I believe. He has backed that thing down. Braden Hunsicker only 17th. I remember he had a pretty terrible run here last season. Doesn't seem to have speed here at Las Vegas, even to now 2 seasons in a row. Here comes Alexander Ortega, was 6th on lap 1. Lap 2, what will it bring? Ortega. Wilkin goes 3rd. Ortega is going to stay 6th. Looks like lap 1 is the big money lap. Across the line.
To P3.
Banks, good lap 3rd. Oh, and upside down goes the 72 of Asbel. Banks is done. 30 seconds to go. I don't think anyone else is rolling on the racetrack. Here comes Ortega. I don't think he's on a lap time here. Definitely isn't. There's no way. Yeah, I don't. Ortega isn't on a lap time. So that'll mean, once again, somehow he does it again, Matthew White going to be on pole position here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in the playoff opener.
This guy's got to be cheating.
I mean, he has done it yet again. Wow. What a lap by Matthew White. It's time for Vegas. Let's real quick look at the playoff standings. This is your playoff standings entering tonight. Of course, tied to the cut line between John Butler and Trenton Wilk, and that'll all change throughout this race. Still early. Can't really look at this. Just look at your playoff drivers for tonight. Like I said, the ways to see the playoff drivers on the grid are from the playoff banners they have, the playoff spoilers and whatever, all that good stuff. The P next to their name, the purple thing on their number. That's how you're going to tell between playoff drivers as we welcome you live to the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series playoffs in Las Vegas. It's officially time to go from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway tonight. The playoffs are just about to be underway. Let's go through your starting order with the top 10. Matthew White, once again, on pole position, has done that so many times in his career. It was outside such an impressive run for the driver that finished second at the Brickyard 400 this season. He's going to qualify in P2. Dylan Banks, your defending series champion, qualifies third to his outside his teammate in Toyota, Trenton Wilkin. Run number 3 here. Strong qualifying effort for both Bryce Benson and William Reagan, both in the playoffs. Top 5 of the top 6 drivers are from the playoffs. Alexander Ortega, 2 wins this season. He is 7th. Payson Lindsay missed the playoffs last week in Daytona. He's 8th. Sean Hilkich, a playoff driver. He's going to qualify 9th. And now inside the top 10 is Richard Cherry. Got the rest of the field on the left side of your screen. Good chunk of playoff drivers outside the top 10 here, including Braden Hunsaker, who qualified 18th. Hunsaker, of course, 3 wins this season. Cars are just about to roll off the grid here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway tonight. Six of the top 10 drivers are in the playoffs. And here we go. This is it. This is Vegas. The playoffs are just about to be underway. These next 7 weeks will come down to deciding a new NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series champion. We have an opportunity for 3 back-to-back, 3 multi-time champions as well. It's, of course, White, your Season 1 champion, Clausen, your Season 2 champion, and Banks, your Season 3 champion. If they are all in the playoffs this season, if either one of them win a championship this year, they'll be a multi-time Cup Series champion, the first one in history. As cars roll off from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Come down pit road this time by to check pit road speed, like they usually do.
Since you said pit road, we have 4 sets of tires for this 134 lap race, and we can make it 50 laps on fuel.
Yeah, so it's the normal 80% fuel distance and whatever. Normal tire sets as well, so nothing changes here for the mile and a half. So normal, it's normal everything. There's just the same old mile and a half race, just, of course, now in the playoffs. Of course, next week is Charlotte for the second playoff race. That was originally scheduled to be Road Atlanta, but of course we knew all the issues that happened with that. Had to move it to Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's a day race, 134 laps there, bringing back the Charlotte day race. Second Charlotte race of the season, joining the Charlotte 600, which is way earlier in the year. That should be fun next week, but we got, of course, Las Vegas, one of the fan favorites and driver favorites coming up tonight. 134 laps will be driven here at Vegas. That's the pace car. Cars come down pit road, check pit road speed. And they will come to 1 to go to the green flag this time by. It's going to be interesting here. If you're a driver like Braden Hunsaker, you don't want to be stuck in the back here early on in the race. You don't want to be especially caught up in a wreck. He starts 18th tonight. Cannot afford a wreck happening. He is the lowest starting playoff driver. All playoff drivers starting inside the top 18. So obviously they have the majority of everyone. Here we go. Cars rolling down this back straightaway. Just about ready to come to the green flag tonight. 7 races remain. They're all going to decide a NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series champion for season number 4. Matthew White got to be one of the favorites, of course. 5 wins this season, leads all drivers. He's come on high. last few weeks, winning multiple races after only having 2 wins in the first about 13 or so races. It's to his outside, the underdog story, Jacob Clarinos. 7 drivers inside of the top 10 are from the playoffs. It's just about time to go racing in Vegas. The Cup Series playoffs for Season 4 gonna kick off tonight. Matthew White, Jacob Clarino, we are racing in the playoffs at Las Vegas.
And they're already ready.
Oh, what are they doing? Connor Asbell goes hard on the wall with the 80 of Logan Giesbrecht. Caution is out. Lap 1. Not really sure what happened back here. We'll have to take a look at it. Man, that was anticlimactic. Let's take a look. Both these two have been involved in a ton of accidents this season, so let's see. Asbell gets split 3 wide here. There was a big stack up. Cole Clausen, whoa, man, did not get going, and then Asbell just has to come down to avoid, goes hard on the wall with the 80 of Giesbrecht. That is a terrible, terrible way to start this race. Not at all what we wanted to see. I don't know what was going on with Cole Clausen. Let's ride along here with the 80. Look at, yeah, Cole Clausen just, that's Clausen. Yeah, that's Clausen. What? Where is his speed? Oh, hits the wall hard. Connor Asbell. That was a big shot. Let's ride along with Cole Clausen and maybe listen along through this restart to see maybe if anything happens. I'm not really sure. That was really, really weird. All right, just a quick second. iRacing messed everything up, so. Here we go for the start with Cole Clausen. Let's listen. Stack up. And just didn't get going after that. Had cars split them all over the place, and then eventually they came down behind him and caused that accident. Man, what a way to...
I don't know if people got damaged from that stack up, but I saw cars coming down pit road.
Yeah, we got Clausen on pit road. Same thing with Diego Rodriguez. I saw the 31 run as far as almost starting to the wall. There is Logan Giesbrecht with pretty significant damage. Connor Asbell as well, but that brings out the caution. Lap 1. Cole Clausen gets stacked up, does not get going. Everyone has to avoid. Brings out 2 cars into the wreck. The first yellow of the day is out already here in Las Vegas. That's a heck of a way to start this one. Man. All right, we're only 3 laps in at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Got a ton of racing left to go. First halfway break at the end of lap 67. Let me tell that again. Halfway break at the end of lap 67. Just so
You
we
mean
all
tell the
know.
rest of the drivers? You mean tell the rest of the drivers that?
No, they all know. It's been like that for...
No. Like the way that if we keep wrecking, bro.
Well, yeah. Hopefully they
Like
won't.
we're already racing like it's lap 115.
I mean, that kind of was just because of a stack up as they're coming to the choose this time by 3 cars choose the inside. That'll give the front row to Trent Wilkin. Wow. A lot of cars up on the outside back here. It's Cameron Chandler. Okay. So choose.
I think I picked the wrong line.
So, of course, early race caution, big stack up. Drivers having to avoid. Just, I don't know what happened on, I don't know why they all stacked up. I saw it, it was just weird. I think somebody must have spun their tires somewhere in the field. You saw it live, and then on the replays. It was just a very interesting.
First gear.
Very interesting stack up here. All right, it's going to be Matthew White and Trenton Wilkin on the front row for a lap 5 restart. Let's get this thing back underway. All right, here we go. Wilkin, of course, gains multiple rows here from choosing the outside after top 3 all went to the bottom. I'm kind of surprised by that. And the outside isn't that bad that you're going to lose that many spots. Here we go. Coming back to green. Let's try this again. And get this one back underway in Vegas. Another good restart for the inside lane. I don't know if it's going to be net gain, though, for drivers that chose the outside, drivers that chose the inside instead of the outside, and it's not, especially for Jacob Clarino. Dylan Banks with the bumper of Matthew White as they head back on a 1 and 2. Here's the opening time, up to speed, at least. Down the back stretch they go. 2 and almost 3 wide action here. See William Reagan down there, native Cameron Chandler going down there as well. 3 wide on the inside. Connor Havrilla through the middle, Brandon Hunsicker on the outside as well. Havrilla going to slide up the racetrack in front of the 77. They're 3 wide. Look at these 12 of Trent Wilkin getting almost destroyed there as they're 3x3 down this front straightaway. 3 or 4 lanes deep as they head back on a 1 and 2. Look at this action. There's the 29 of Cherry. He's going to, whoa, Cherry way up the racetrack. Nearly door slams Alexander Ortega. Everyone trying to find every position back here. 3 wide to the inside goes 94 of CJ Urban. No one is lifting for anything. I mean, you got to get track position with this next gen car, so it's definitely being shown. Havrilla nearly gets into the wall as well. Chaotic back here up front. Matthew White leads Dylan Banks by about 2/10 of a second. 3rd place is Trenton Wilkin. 4th, Bryce Benton. Here's 5th place, Sean Hilgich to the inside of the 9. And the 28 of Ortega, big run outside. Trying to get there, and Bryce Benton can't get there just yet. He'll keep it on his bumper. Marino back here side by side with Pace and Lindsay. There's the 36 of William Reagan, the 8 of Cameron Chandler. Chandler trying to make its way inside the top 10 after starting 13th. Bryce Benton has a little bit of nose damage. He's got 28 of Ortega to his outside. Battle for 4th as they head back into 1 and 2. Good run for Alexander Ortega. Uses that middle line to clear. He's got to run on Trenton Wilkin down this backstretch. Where's he going to take it? Wilkin going to really aggressively block, but Ortega had a huge run coming to the inside and will get to his inside, but he's going to slide back up the racetrack. Wilkin now coming with good momentum on his teammate Dylan Banks to pull outside with 2 ETR cars door to door for 2nd. Banks has to let his teammate out there. Heading back into 1 and 2. Wilkin still on the outside lane. We are 9 laps in from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, side by side, down the back straight. Away they go. For 2nd, good run. Trenton Wilkin through 3 and 4. He will clear Dylan Banks for P2. White has led all the laps so far from starting on pole, with a side-by-side battle between William Reagan, and that's the 9 of Bryce Benton, who is falling through the field after, I think that nose damage definitely hurting him. 3 wide. On the middle goes the 81 of Sean Hilquist. There's the 36 of William Reagan up there, the 8 of Cameron Chandler as well. Playoffs are here. Aggression, of course, is up. Pace and Lindsay just gets around. Alexander Ortega for 4th place. That 99 is so far really quick. Up the racetrack goes William Reagan with 36. Ahead of the 8 of Cameron Chandler, who is starting to drive his way through the field up to 9th place for Cameron. William Reagan, the bumper of Bryce Benton, will push him down this front straightaway. To the inside he goes. Heading back into 1 and 2. Battle for 7th place. William Reagan, he's had such a good regular season, made the playoffs for the first time in his Cup Series career. He's a Season 1 veteran. On the inside of another technically Season 1 veteran, not really though, was around in the league since Season 1 but didn't race, Bryce Benton. And look at Cameron Chandler, another veteran, all the way down low, almost 3 wide. Hitting cars, going for positions early. What a move down to the inside. Bryce Benton nearly in the wall a little bit. William Reagan still through in the 3 wide middle situation. Oh, Sean Hilquist up the racetrack. Oh, they nearly come together, and Cameron Chandler slams the wall. Brandon Hunsicker crashing the 36 of Reagan. They're coming up through the field. Oh my goodness.
Big one at Vegas.
Huge, huge crash. And it takes out multiple cars. That is not what you want to see. Cameron Chandler is destroyed. Let's see what happens. Man, that is just so unfortunate. So, Chandler was aggressive. He made it 3 wide to the inside. You see William Reagan shoot up the racetrack. Maybe Sean Hilquist came down, pushed the 36, and then William Reagan hits the wall back here, and then they come together. Reagan spins to the field. Look at a 77 Hunsicker come out in front of the 9 of Bryce Benton. Benton, I think, is destroyed. The 94 of Urban, the 90 of Tomlin got a whole mess to discover here. Let's look now with Braden Hunsicker in the 77 to see how he kind of got involved in this whole thing. This is a huge stack up in the points. Wow, this is massive. So, watch another better angle. Yeah, Reagan loses it, of course, into the wall hard. Goes Cameron Chandler back up in front of the field. Oh, getting hit by Piper in the 98s. That 77 Hunsicker, and then nowhere to go. That is worst case scenario. And Johnson gets a piece of it. There's Connor Havrilla just slots on by without getting any damage.
Did my damage look bad?
I don't know, it doesn't. We got leaders pitting, I think. The leaders are staying out. So we'll have more replays here. Just cars that were damaged start pitting. More post-accident replays. So let's look from the blimp. Reagan will look from as well from the blimp here.
Could be worse. Only a minute 30.
So Chandler to the inside he goes on the 36 William Reagan. Gets him up the racetrack a little bit. Reagan gonna slide to the door of Hildwich. Hildwich, oh, he just comes down. It was just so fine margins, the victory of stuff there. It was just ever so slightly mistake that caused all that. Oh man, the melee. McMillan got a piece of it as well. Right along with Sean Hildwich through this accident. To see if we can get a better POV. He actually got unscathed through this crash. With Hildwich. So yeah, it just comes down ever so slightly. Man, not we want to see Cameron Chandler. Of course, Reagan cannot hang on to it. Big crash in the back. Bringing out the caution again here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So, we did have some cars that were actually in the lead pack pit coming to the choose this time by. Inside, gonna go Matthew White, of course. Look at this choose back here. I'll give you an update on after the choose real quick with some other drivers. Andrew Stacy's back on the track. Dylan Banksy came down pit road, so did his teammate Trick Wilkins. So if you pit now, it's gonna be close to the end of the stage for you. As cars roll off pit road. William Reagan is pretty significant damage, but still rolling. Cars on pit road. Cameron Chandler, man, this is very reminiscent to his early race crash in Chicagoland. This one means a whole lot more. This one is in the playoffs. Bryce Benson, he came into this race into these playoffs, I should say, with 0 playoff points whatsoever. This is going to be terrible for him. Braden Hunsicker, big damage as well. 3 drivers that could have even been championship favorites. They are torn up here in Las Vegas and currently sit on pit road a couple laps down. Benson, I think he might be out. Chandler,
he just
I don't
disconnected.
know. Yeah, Bryce Benson, DNF. This is just absolutely not what he wanted to see. That leaves now only 2 drivers instead of the top 10 that are in the playoffs. I mean, the issues for playoff drivers already in this race has been insane. We're going to restart here on lap 16. Of course, 2 playoff drivers get together, Reagan and Hildwich. They make contact, just fine margins. It was so close. Unfortunately, it brings out that massive crash. All right, here we go. We're only coming to lap 16 this time by. We're back underway in Las Vegas. Good restart out of the inside lane of Matthew White. Alexander Ortega clear for second place on Payson Lindsay. How much more aggressive are they going to be back here? Are they maybe now going to calm down after that massive crash we just had? Down the back stretch they go. Field has thinned out a little bit already. White still leading. Alexander Ortega back on 3 and 4. Lindsay's currently running in 3rd place. You see 4th place. How about Max DiFilippi? What a run by the 13. Made his way through that chaos that we just saw and currently runs inside the top 5. Look at this mess. Still 3 wide down to the 1 and 2. A couple of playoff drivers. Dylan Banks and the 12 of Trenton Wilkin up here. Battle for the race lead. Beyond the bumper of the 7 of Matthew White is Alexander Ortega. These 2 have horrible history, as you know. Let's see how this goes. To the biggest, probably the biggest rivalry right now in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League. Easily. Alexander Ortega got tight there and loses some time down the front straightaway. That should be interesting. 3 wide. Connor Asbell in the inside lane. There on the 33 of Clarino and the 31 of Suarez. As they head back into 1 and 2 here. Back here as well. Cars trying to race side by side. Oh, Asbell almost gets moved with the racetrack by Clarino, who's back to the inside. racetrack goes Diego Rodriguez. He's coming outside for a spot inside the top 10 here. Actually, Andrew Stacy is a couple laps down, so that doesn't really matter. Car's still sitting on pit road. Reagan has got rolling, so does Perkins. Stacy as well, he's rolling. I think Pfeiffer is rolling as well. But still, Bentony's out of the race. Hunsicker and Chandler, both significant damage on pit road right now. Here we go to the pace and Lindsay to the inside of the 28 of Ortega. 3 playoff drivers that are possibly out of this race. And to the inside for the race lead, here comes Alexander Ortega on Matthew White. He'll pull it back outside. How interesting is this going to get? I mean, you got to hope early in the race it doesn't get too bad up here. Down the back stretch they go. There's Richard Cherry up to 4th place, passing Max DiFilippi. As well to the outside goes Ronan Suarez, side by side between Clarino and Diego Rodriguez. This whole huge melee that happened on, of course, lap 16. The massive, massive crash that took out multiple playoff drivers and contenders up front really now is letting some non-playoff drivers and drivers you don't ever see up here running, especially drivers like Ronan Suarez in 5th place and Max DiFilippi in 6th. That is incredible runs for those drivers so far. There's Cole Clausen currently just outside the top 10, and Perkins to the inside of Rahman. Perkins is 1 lap down. Does have the free pass position if he gets caution here. Here's Asbel catching up to Rahman side by side down the back straightaway between Pace and Lindsay and Alexander Ortega for 2nd place. Ooh, big drive outside. Look at that 28 coming back there, and Lindsay, but the 99 fights back down low. Pace and Lindsay, he's not in the playoffs, but he is not giving up. How about Richard Cherry run down this front straightaway? 2 Xfinity drivers with Ortega and Cherry, 2 of the best they do it in the Xfinity Series, up here racing inside the top 5. The racetrack goes to 28. Lindsay, though, back to his inside. 3 wide, further back, 4 wide almost for a second. There's Max DiFilippi. He is falling back, contact with Connor Asbel. As they head back 3 wide over Max DiFilippi, he is kind of becoming a hazard, very slow on the racetrack right now. Whoa, Asbel down low on Clarino. DiFilippi falling back to 9th. Here's Clarino back to the inside, but up front, still side by side for 2nd place. Lindsay, a good momentum boost. Outside he goes. Ortega, a little bit of a bobble. So they head down the backstretch. Lindsay to 2nd, Ortega back to 3rd. Now he's got 90, or 29, I should say, of Richard Cherry to his outside. Cherry's getting momentum. He go in the wall a little bit down this front stretch again. I mean, there's only 2 top 10 drivers that are in the playoffs right now, so I was going to say how much this is going to affect the points, but other playoff drivers, even that survived all that chaos, not having too great of runs. Dylan Banks runs 18 right now. They're running 2nd at one point. Matthew White comes to lap 26, your leader in Las Vegas. I mean, you got to think, Chandler was 2nd in points, Hunsicker was 3rd in points. They're both out of this race already. Dylan Banks was up there in 4th. He currently runs 18th. Benson was 5th in the standings, I believe. And he currently runs
Cameron
out of the race.
is disconnected.
Yeah, he's done. We already knew he had the most damage, I think, of anyone, so no way he was going to continue.
We're just confirming it.
Chandler, Benson both confirmed out. I believe Hunsicker probably going to be as well if he can't get back going here. He's on pit road right now. He's the only car that's actually on the pits. So 3 cars confirmed. I think actually 4 cars confirmed out of the race after that early race chaos. But so many drivers you never see running up front now up here. As we got a battle here for 10th. 9th, I should say, between John Butler and Max DiFilippi. To the inside goes that 09. Cole Clausen in the 71 try to break inside the top 10. Matthew White now has Payson Lindsay, Oliver's back bumper to the outside he goes. How about Payson Lindsay coming for the race lead? Matthew White doesn't have a whole lot of contenders up here. 3 of them are out of the race, and one of them is in 18th place. But still, Payson Lindsay, a non-playoff driver who missed the playoffs this season, putting pressure on the 7 for the lead of this race. I mean, I'm not going to say Matthew's happy about all these playoff driver issues with him just out front, but he's definitely not going to be mad about it. Can be a fantastic points day for Matthew White, but Payson Lindsay is not making it easy. Same thing with Ortega back there, Cherry. I mean, don't look now. This race is not over. There's so many contenders still left in this one that could pressure Matthew White. Outside goes Lindsay. Heading back into 1 and 2. Still got about 38 laps to go to the halfway break here in Las Vegas. The sun is setting. Lights are going to be on pretty soon. Track conditions will continue to change. Lindsay about 2/10 back. There's Ortega battling with Richard Cherry for 3rd place. 2 Xfinity Series drivers that have run so good in the Xfinity Series, probably future Cup stars as early as next season. Both have a lot of Cup experience already. Good run down the back stretch for Lindsay in the 99. A pull outside once again on Matthew White. Back to 1 and 2. Lindsay way up the racetrack once more. We'll have really, really solid momentum heading down this backstretch. Where is he going to take it? Here, well, look at Diego Rodriguez, the inside of Ron Suarez for 5th place. I mean, you've got to talk about so many non-playoff drivers that have missed the playoffs this season and drivers that never run even inside the top 20 up here in the top 10 right now. It's so impressive. Raswell currently runs 7th, the winner this season. Of course, still missed the playoffs. Won at Fontana, as we all know. Battle here between 2 playoff drivers inside the top 10. John Butler, he was blinking a little bit, and Cole Clausen in the 71. 2 Ford Mustangs. Looking back, Trent Wilkin now runs 13th. He is a fast car tonight. Dylan Banks runs 17th now. Connor Havarilla back there, 19th. 20th place is William Reagan. So even these guys back here, 3 of them are playoff drivers, and they run outside the top 15 right now. And Sean Hilton as well back here. So a lot of contenders mired back here when a lot of non-usually contenders are up there actually contending. Side by side between Zane Ramon and Max DiFilippi, his teammate. Both these 2 got away cleanly from the massive crash early on. And they're having good runs inside the top 15 right now. This is just such a huge shakeup in this race. We expected guys like Cameron Chandler, Bryce Benton, Braden Hunsicker to be battling for this win, and they're all out of the race. There's Hunsicker still sitting in the pits. I gotta be devastated, man. Not at all the way you want to start your playoffs. Luckily, there's 2 races still to go in this round. Of course, next week in Charlotte. Second race now, second mile-and-a-half race in a row that Cameron Chandler is getting taken out early in the race. Lindsay's been 2/10 to 1/10 back, still really hasn't been able to make a move on Matthew White, though. Look at Alexander Ortega on the wall in the 28 car. So, not everybody has visited pit road so far tonight. Landon, I think he did, running in 15th place. So not a bad run at all for you guys so far. What is the fuel situation looking like lap 37 with 31 to go to the stage?
So I have 28 laps left. How many we got on the stage?
So that means that you pitted, right? Yeah. All right. So that Matthew White, a couple others up here didn't pit at all. So we still got to see cars come down pit road at the end of the stage if we stay green.
I'm not very good at math, bro.
Yeah, not going to make it. Still 30 to go now.
I'll just cause caution totally, you know?
Nice try. As the cars head down the back straightaway. Once again, there's Ortega in 28.
I think I'd be doing a little bit better. I slid my tires during that lap 13 rig. I didn't want to put new tires on.
Ortega, good momentum at first, still clear pace, and Lindsay, what a road run he got on the outside lane for second place now. He'll try to run down Matthew White. Hopefully this goes well between these two. God only knows, though. Matthew White and Alexander Ortega do not have good history. I mean, last time it came down to a boiling point. Remember lobbies a few weeks ago at Phoenix in the Gen 6 car. I mean, man, they were literally just dumping each other. They were putting each other in the wall. They were holding each other in the wall, quite literally. And man, that was insane. I don't think it's going to come to that point right now because it's an actual Cup Series race and things actually matter. But I don't think they're going to be too nice with each other, if I had to imagine. Suarez to the inside. There's the 11 of Rodriguez up top as well. Got a pretty good momentum coming to the outside. Suarez, he's pitting. We got two cars coming out pit roads. Pit cycles are starting pace, and Lindsay as well coming to pit. So maybe a little bit early for those two. They are on pit road. Matthew White still leads back into 1 and 2. Of course, a little bit thinned out fields, multiple contenders taken out. 3 playoff drivers, Hunsaker, Chandler, and Bentley, that all finished top 6 in the points at the end of the regular season, taking out DNF so far. That is insane. They have a combined 5 wins this season. Benton has ran so good. He's the only winless one. Ortega getting a run down this back straightaway, but when will more of your leaders come down pit road? There's Cherry to 3rd place. There's Wilkin down the back stretch. Of course, he pitted before, but I don't know if he would have enough to make it. I don't think he would. All right, back down the front stretch they go. Mostly single file throughout the top 10. Rodriguez now coming outside. Rodriguez, he had a really good run in Daytona, but that was Daytona. He is right now having the run of his life in 4th place right now at Las Vegas. And he's to the inside of Richard Cherry for 3rd. Cherry gonna cut him off nearly. That almost was a collision as they head back into 3 and 4. Perkins in the 02, he's got good speed. He's a lap down right now. He's outside of the 11. PetSmart on that machine tonight. We got, I think, a kitten on the car. I see right, yeah. Cats. For the lead, battle is on still between Matthew White and Alexander Ortega. It's about 0.3 of a second, but of course drivers still have to come down pit road. Side by side lap car to the outside of Richard Cherry. Perkins would be in the free pass position if the caution came out now. Here he is outside, trying to lap himself around Cherry. Here comes Rodriguez now for 3rd place on Richard Cherry. What a run he's having so far tonight. And he's up to 3rd. Greatest run besides the super speedway in his career so far. Cherry is slowing and Cherry is coming to pit road here. Got to make sure you don't speed. Got to be careful into the pits. Looks pretty okay for Richard Cherry for the most part. Side by side between Landon Johnson and CJ Erdman. So we'll see if the undercut, how that works. We're actually going to see, we'll check to see if Richard Cherry is going to take tires here. That could be important. Don't have to pack it completely full of fuel. Cherry going to slide through his box. He will now start the pit stop. He is taking tires. We'll see if it's 2 or 4. I have to imagine if it's under green, it's going to be 4. And it's only 2. Okay. Only 2 tires for Richard Cherry. Cole Clausen coming out. Cherry now going to roll back onto the racetrack. And once again, Brandon Hunsaker's back on the track in the 77, so he is still rolling. He is multiple laps down. 27 to be exact. Where's your leader? There he is, Matthew White, heading back down the front straightaway. But Hunsicker not giving up. I mean, there could be some more attrition throughout the rest of this race. Still a long ways to go. He could maybe gain a couple of positions. The next driver back is about 25 laps ahead of him. Lights have come on here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The sun is setting. In the playoff opener, it's been such a chaotic race so far. Kind of under a long green flag run. You see leaders coming down pit road as well pretty soon. White leads to lap 49 here in Vegas. Halfway break coming up pretty soon, but still got pit stops to come. I mean, there's no way they can save it, especially for drivers that haven't visited pit road yet. Rodriguez the outside of Perkins here, back in the 3 and 4. That 02 going to slide up in front of the 11. I don't think the 11 Rodriguez is going to be too happy about that. Now to the inside 4 position is Jacob Clarino on the 72 of Connor Asbell. Because of pit cycles, this is technically for 4th. Clarino started 2nd. What an impressive qualifying effort it was for him. Ooh, he's still inside. Once again, momentum outside for that 72 car. Side by side, back into 3 and 4. Once again, down the front straightaway from Vegas. Still a side-by-side action. Ooh, up the racetrack goes Clarino, a little bit on the door of that 72 of Asbell. Asbell, though, good momentum will clear him. Clarino going to still try to fight back inside. Still waiting for your leaders to pit. We got 17 to go to the halfway break here in Las Vegas. Oh, in the wall a little bit goes Connor Asbell. Ever so slightly hits the wall. Andrew Stacy is a couple laps down back here for some free passes. So cars have visited pit road so far. A lot of your leaders still, though, yet to pit. I don't think we had any pit road penalties so far, which is definitely good. Side by side between Suarez and Butler. Down the back stretch they go. Payson Lindsay, of course, he's visited pit road. We'll see if he's able to maybe get the undercut. I don't know if he's on tires. I think he is. We saw Cherry take 2 tires. I think Lindsay took 4. Maybe he took 2. I'm not 100% sure on that. Connor Havrilla just visited pit road. He's now coming off another playoff driver. Actually got no laps in practice at all. Came into qualifying completely unknown. Here's Braden Hunsicker back on the racetrack, of course, 27 laps down, but still looking for anything he can tonight. Dylan Banks has had an interesting run. He really ran up front early on in the race, but as of now, he is back there mired in 11th. Would have been way worse if we didn't have cars coming down pit road. And here comes John Butler in the 09, another playoff driver to pit road. Ilkwich, they're still rolling in the 81. Of a line down this backstretch. Leader Matthew White still staying out, coming to lap 55. He's now pulled away from Ortega by about 1.4 seconds this time by.
88 pitting.
So Landon Johnson announces he's coming to pit road here. What a run for Diego Rodriguez so far in 3rd. He's having an incredible day. Johnson, he's got a little bit of damage, but he's coming to pit road. The 02 of Perkins as well in the pits. As he's now going to roll off. Here's Johnson to his pit stall. The last pit stall for Landon Johnson. Here come your leaders. If we can actually get to it. iRacing, there we go. Matthew White, Alexander Ortega. Also got Clarino pitting back there. That'll cycle the lead to Diego Rodriguez. This should be a good battle off pit road. The 28 of Ortega was actually able to close on Matthew White a little bit. Got to both be perfect here. They want to come out first. We will see. Clarino to his pit stall back here. Good stop for the 28. Ortega going to roll off. He's going to be side by side. Actually will beat Matthew White off pit road. What a stop by the 28 crew. I think it might have been fuel only. I don't know if he took fuel only as well. I think he might have. What a stop though for the 28 of Alexander Ortega. He will take the lead from the cycle right now. Payson Lindsay Another one that could maybe get it here. He's got good momentum to the outside. Oh, Matthew White's going to block Suarez. Suarez is going to go 3 wide and down to the outside goes White. Here comes Lindsay to the 3 wide to the inside. This is actually for the lead, what would be. Suarez through there as well. Contact between Lindsay and Ortega. They're still 3 wide down this front straightaway. Ortega to the inside of White. White was going. He knows he wants this stage win. Ortega back to the inside, though, as they head back at a 1 and 2. Big drive to the inside, but he's got a lap car in the way. He'll slide up the racetrack to the door of the 7 of Matthew White. White has the lift. Now a run, 3 wide again. Here comes Pace and Lindsay. Lindsay to the inside of Matthew White. White, though, gets good momentum through the middle lane to clear Lindsay. Lindsay going to try to follow into what would be second, but Ortega back to his inside. Man, that was chaotic. Ortega's going to clear Lindsay for that spot. So they head back at a 1 and 2. Ortega still back up the racetrack. Lindsay, of course, he had the undercut there ever so slightly. Didn't really, it really didn't work out too well. They came out, kind of the same spots as into the wall goes Ortega a little bit. He has now some damage. He'll fall back to this 3rd spot. Oh, and he's now all over the back bumper of Lindsay here. Pushing him down the front straightaway. What are these two doing? He's all over his bumper. Back at a 1 and 2, almost sends him to the racetrack. I don't know if Pace is going to be too thrilled about that one. Another friend's gone, maybe for Alexander Ortega. Side by side they go. Ortega falls back in line. Still yet to pit Rodriguez, Clausen, Wilkin, Hillquist, Banks, Tomlin, Erdman, Reagan, McMillan, and Ronan Suarez. I believe he might have been on pit road. I don't know. There's, 7 to go to the halfway break. Still 10 cars that need to come down pit road. I don't think any of them can make it. Unless you pitted under that last caution flag and maybe we're saving, maybe like Dylan Banks was doing.
I'm pretty sure that's what Dylan's been doing the whole time.
Yeah, I was imagining that he was doing some sort of thing there. Same thing with Trenton Wilkin. He could have been doing that thing. Rodriguez, I think he has to pit. There's no way I don't think that 11 car makes it. But maybe he somehow stretches it. I don't really see a possibility of that happening. Suarez, I don't think has been on pit road yet. He's going to lap himself here. I think Suarez has been on pit road, so he somehow jumped Matthew White. I don't know how. Matthew White currently now runs 10th. Inside trying to unlap himself from the 11 of Rodriguez, who's just having an amazing run so far tonight. So happy for him. Hopefully this momentum keeps up heading to the second half for him. He's currently leading. If he somehow, somebody has enough fuel to make it to the end, which I don't really know how that would be possible, he would win this stage. He's got a 6-second lead on Trenton Wilkin. The inside goes Matthew White to unlap himself. Of course, stage is the end of lap 67. Up the racetrack into the wall goes Rodriguez. Nearly collects Pace and Lindsay. That could have been bad. Rodriguez is going to stay out yet another lap. We got 4 to go to the stage here. Definitely cars are going to stay out here. I don't think Matthew White's going to win the stage. Looking back, there is Banks. Currently runs 5th. Tomlin runs 6th. Asbel has pitted. There were your leaders from before. Matthew White now heading down this front straightaway. Obviously, if we had no cautions in the first half, this thing would have ran green. All the way to the end, everyone would have to visit pit road no matter what. But of course, we had that early caution, big crash, shook up the field. That whole crash really shook up so much, shook up the points, shook up the field, shook up the strategy. It was such a huge shakeup, probably the biggest we've seen all season. So many contenders involved. Rodriguez still is leading this race in the 11. Trenton Wilkin right now is being scored 2nd. It's 2 to go to the stage here. Can Rodriguez somehow hold on? I don't know how that's possible. Drivers pitted and we're still short. I don't really know how that would be possible. Battle here between Lindsay and Matthew White for the final spot inside the top 10. This is a final playoff. Stage point. Matthew White, of course, is in the playoffs. Payson is not. Keep in mind, as we come to 1 to go in the stage for Diego Rodriguez. the outside trying to lap himself is Richard Cherry. Final lap of the stage here in Las Vegas. Rodriguez heading down the back straightaway for the final time here in this stage. We still got to wait for the top 10 cars to cross, which are almost a lap ahead. So they got to hold fuel to the ends here. He is basically probably running on fumes at this point, but off turn 4 will go to see the green and white checker flag. Diego Rodriguez is going to win the stage here. What a stage win. Second going to be Trenton Wilkin. Great stage wins. How about third? Sean Hilquich. Fourth, Cole Clausen coming across the line back here. Fifth, Dylan Banksy holds on. Sixth, how about Eli Tomlin? Seventh, Reagan. Eighth, going to be CJ Erdman, as they're still coming here in the back. There goes Reagan across the line. Of course, Rodriguez is slowing here as Matthew White and Pace and Lindsay come across the line. That will bring out the yellow. Caution is out. Stage is over. They had to wait for the top 10 to cross, of course. And Rodriguez was on fumes. That definitely hurt him. And he's coming to pit road now. This is not going to be good at all for Diego Rodriguez. Maybe the strategy not working out too well. Didn't need points or anything. Was going for the win. So maybe going to think that this was a bad strategy. Was literally on fumes coming to the checker flag. And still, everyone's so spread out, had to wait for the top 10 to cross. That'll give the lead to to Trenton Wilkin. So Rodriguez, Wilkin, Hilquich, Banks, Tomlin, Reagan, Suarez, White, Lindsay, all get stage points here. A couple of cars also had to pit again. Hilquich is probably going fumes as well, so same thing with the 12. Stacy, Rodriguez is rolling slowly. Oh man, Andrew Stacy maybe going to be a good fellow driver. No, he's not. Rodriguez, can he get to his pit stall? This is not what he wants to see at all. Stacy's a couple laps down. We'll see if he actually gives a hand. We're 3 wide coming up pit road here. I don't know why. They're really, really slowly running down. Then they're trying to push each other here as well. This whole situation with everyone trying to save fuel is usually avoided because, oh, and Hilquich I think is out. Wow. Will a teammate come to help him? He's not going to make it if no one helps him. Rodriguez is right now stopped. Cars are on pit road here. Dylan Banks pitting. Where is Matthew White? He's also on pit road, so whole interesting situation now as cars come to pit road. Leaders on pit road here. Dylan Banks going to be off pit road first. This changes everything. Banks somehow is able to save enough. He's going to be a big beneficiary of this one. Off pit road second is going to be Trenton Wilkin. Third, how about Ronan Suarez? Fourth place is going to be Matthew White. Lindsay rolls off, so does Cherry. There's 28. But Hilquich has gotten to his pit stall. I think he got a push. Same thing with Rodriguez. He also, I don't know. Did they have to reset? I'm not sure. If they did, that is worst case scenario for those two. Oh, man, yeah, he did have to reset. Same thing with Rodriguez. Wow. Sean Hilquich and Diego Rodriguez. It matters more for Sean Hilquich. Barely on fumes at the end there. I mean, obviously the top 10 had to cross the line first before the caution came out. Didn't really matter because they were still on fumes at the ends coming up pit road. Is at the end of lap 67 when all the top 10 crossed the line. I'm going to draw Tudio right now to the restart. Perkins here should have got the free pass. I don't know if that's how that's going to work out for him. Scoring trying to be figured out here. Lap cars have to pass the pace car, I think. The leader is Dylan Banks. Havarella is being scored 2 laps down right now.
Rodriguez is disconnected.
Wow, that is so unfortunate. Lost all fuel pressure, and he is out. I said he was really hoping he had a good second half of the run. That strategy is going to take him out of the race. That is literally worst case scenario. And this whole fuel situation really interesting. These drivers trying to maybe waver on? I don't know. It's very weird. Cars dropping to the back. And because cars are running out coming up pit road, it's just when the cautions came and then when drivers were trying to save, it's just the whole situation here. Your leader right now is Dylan Banks, though. You know that for a fact. I think there's only going to be 18 cars in the lead lap, though. Because we got lap cars that are going to eventually pass the pace car here. They should come on a 1 to go. They should now. I believe they're coming a 1 to go. Yes, we are. Inside goes Banks. Inside of his teammate goes the 12 of Wilkin. 2 cars go outside. This is going to be Suarez and White.
All right, I need a quick yellow. Back on the lead lap, baby.
A lot of drivers probably need a quick yellow that were in that situation. All right, guys. Currently being scored on the lead lap is not Rahman, not Perkins. I mean, Hilquich had the reset. Let's see where Sean Hilquich is. He is now just rolling onto the racetrack. Man, this is not at all what Sean Hilquich wanted to see. This strategy completely backfiring for a lot of drivers. He is now 21st, 2 laps down. I mean, these drivers are going to need so many cautions coming out. So, weird fuel strategy. We had over 20 drivers on the lead lap without all that fuel strategy. Now it's just all flip-flopped. And we're going to restart with Dylan Banks and Ronan Suarez in the front row. The strategy works out perfectly for Dylan Banks. Got good stage points, and he will take the lead here in the restart for the stage. Second half going to be underway here in Las Vegas. Of course, with the top 10 happening across the line, a rule that maybe could have changed some things, but doesn't matter anyways. Second half's underway in Vegas. We're back underway. Terrible restart for the outside lane for Suarez and White. He'll get maybe split 3 wide as White goes down to the inside of Ron and Suarez, heading back into 1 and 2. Here's William Reagan to P2. Third is now Payson Lindsay, but he's got Matthew White on his bumper, trying to pressure him as they head down the back straightaway. A lot of drivers probably hoping for early yellows to get back on the lead lap. And get that thing packed full of fuel again. It's Payson Lindsay trying to get to the outside here for second on Trenton Wilkin. Side by side down the front straightaway they go. For P2. And back into 1 and 2. What a run for Payson Lindsay in the outside lane. We might slide up the racetrack. What? Ronan Suarez just puts himself in the wall. Lindsay for second. Still, though, side by side with Trenton Wilkin. And he is clear. Payson Lindsay to P2. Now he will try to run down your leader, Dylan Banks. Non-playoff driver mixing up with the top 4, who all are playoff drivers, Banks, Wilkin, and White. Lindsay, he thinks he probably should have been one if he raced smarter this season. Alexander Ortega is sideways right ahead of Richard Jerry. He's trying to hang on to it. He will, but they all shuffle behind them with the 3 wide on the apron. Look at this whole mess. Everyone's trying to take advantage of it. Ortega gonna fall back. He almost went around. Same thing with Cherry. They're both falling back. Oh, they're still getting aggressive. 3 wide. Still in the middle is Ortega. Oh, he's again sideways through the apron. Look at this whole mess. And for second place, Matthew White clears Trenton Wilkin. Wilkin was quick early on. Maybe saving something. We'll have to wait and see. The whole mess continues back here. The racetrack goes Tomlin, who's having a great run in 11th. Top 10 so far for Cole Clausen. Landon, was anyone saying on the radio? Was anyone saying anything on the radio about that whole fuel situation?
No, not really.
Yeah, that's
Pretty quiet on the radio.
It's definitely interesting. As Payson Lindsay still all over the back bumper for the lead on Dylan Banks. I mean, it was just probably driver error for the most part. They know we have to wait. It's at the end of when everyone has to cross back around. So it was almost a full lap until the top 10 cross back around because of all the fuel strategy. So none of our wrongdoing that time. Side by side, here's John Butler, and now Ortega going to clear the 09 car. Door to door here between the 29 of Jerry and the 09 of Butler. As they head down this front stretch again. under pretty much full darkness at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway tonight. Not an ounce of sun in the sky, and it's night racing in Vegas. Dylan Banks currently leads. The inside now goes Andrew Stacy. He's 3 laps down on CJ Erdman. And Braden Hunsicker is still on the racetrack, 26 laps down. There's no way he's going to be able to take advantage of this unless something crazy happens. He's still like, what, 8, 9 positions away from actually getting any points whatsoever. So unfortunate for Braden Hunsicker. Even more unfortunate for Chandler and Benson. The only Team Chevy Motor Club car remaining is Payson Lindsay. He's really run up front in 2nd place. But still, they wanted better with their 2 playoff drivers. Lap 80 on the right. Last time we had an incident caution was that lap 16, a bigger one. All green besides the stage rig. Oh. That's Hilquich. He's slow. He was a couple laps down. He's way in the back. He's gotten back rolling again. Let's real quick take a look at what happened to see.
No, that should be a caution.
No, it's not.
Totally.
He was out of the way. No yellow mistake.
I need tires. I need
just
tires, bro.
Replay get messed up. He just got turned. Nick Miller in the back. It's the wall a little bit. He's multiple laps down. And this is not what Sean Hilquich wanted to see whatsoever.
I don't think any playoffs wanted to see this race.
I mean,
Any playoff drivers.
Dylan Banks, Matthew White, Trent Wilkin, Cole Clausen, John Butler, they're all happy.
Well, yeah, I would be too.
But drivers like Chandler, Hunsicker, Hilquich, Benson, I mean, with strategy, miscues Tabarella as well, and of course that crash that happened on lap 16 between 2 playoff drivers, Reagan and Hilquich, coming together. And it's just not going well for them. Payson Lindsay is still trying to run down Dylan Banks here. He's not giving in. Matthew White on the wall now in the 3 and 4. Will he find anything up there? Because everyone still has to come down pit road. If we stay green, we'll have another cycle of green flag pit stops. There's no way now anyone can make it to the end. We're way off that target. Here's the 72 of Connor Asbell to the outside of the 94 of CJ Erdman, battle for 10th. Erdman is having a really nice day. Same thing with Tomlin. So many drivers that are having really nice days tonight because of that chaos that happened early on. And then, of course, this pit strategy. Tomlin up the racetrack almost. Oh, we got a car in the wall. That's Cole Clausen and 96 of Andrew Stacy. They both keep going, and they're out of the way. We stay green. Cole Clausen, though, has big, big damage. Oh. Let's take a look. The bumper, he just gets Stacy loose, and then Stacy comes back. They both slam into the wall. Somehow everyone avoids that. I don't know why that wasn't a caution.
Yeah, Ethan.
iRacing controls the caution, buddy.
Not that stage caution.
So we stay green. I mean, they didn't crash or anything, so no yellow. iRacing thought, I mean, it's up to iRacing. They thought the track was clear, so we stay green.
I mean, if this keeps happening, I'm going to get a top 10 with everybody crashing out, bro.
And here is Cole Clausen coming to the pits. Man, this is not at all what he wanted to see tonight. He is destroyed. Luckily for him, other playoff drivers had big issues. They head back into 1 and 2. Tomlin now on the wall. This whole thing going on. Ooh, up the racetrack goes Connor Asbell, and CJ Erdman nearly clears himself. Erdman, though, back to the inside lane. Three wide down the front straightaway. Look at Haverhill to the bottom. Tomlin outside. Erdman through the middle. 3 drivers from Clear High Racing. Back to 1 and 2. Haverhill, of course, still 2 laps down. Another driver that was bitten by that pit road thing. We had, like, what, before everyone started pitting, we had like 20-something cars in the lead lap. Now we only have 14 because of all that stuff on pit road. Now, of course, Cole Clausen crashing out. Cole Clausen is destroyed. Same thing with John Hill, which he was multiple laps down anyways, but now he has officially put the nail in his night. Okay. Dylan Banks still leads Payson Lindsay by about 0.3 of a second. Coming a lap 90 this time by, which would be the Xfinity race distance, but this is not the Xfinity series, so that means 45 to go. How about Ronan Suarez in the 31 car? What a run he is having tonight. In 4th place, career best day. Not a bad run at all for Trenton Wilkin, taking advantage of playoff driver issues. Currently runs 5th. This could be pretty good points for him. Alexander Ortega still running there in 6th. Cherry 7th. Butler 8th. Asbel. And how about Eli Tomlin rounding at your top 10? That 90 car having a fantastic day. I mean, so many smaller teams and drivers you never see up front are having great nights tonight because of what is going on. I mean, without the insane pit strategies a lot of drivers tried to pull, running out of fuel at the end there, and ultimately that costing them even their race for a couple handful of them. Now laps down. And then the big wreck that happened on lap 16, taking out multiple contenders. They definitely wouldn't be running up here mostly. I mean, Suarez might have because he's had really good speed. Drivers like Tomlin, definitely not in the top 10. There's no way. I'm sorry, Eli Tomlin, but I mean, you know, he usually runs 25th. To the outside, though, comes Suarez. Matthew White going to re-clear that 31 car. Matthew White on this run here, maybe saving a little bit. I don't know. He's really hasn't had the speed in that Payson Lindsay has had, pressuring Dylan Banks. Also apologize for the weird iRacing frame drop. I don't know why that's an issue after the update that still hasn't been fixed. It's really aggravating me. iRacing has to stop with that crap. I've talked to other drivers. It's not a just me issue. It's everybody, for the most part, that I've talked to. Hurts a lot more when you're live. Single file for the most part up front. First battle here is Clarino, now Zane Rahman. Look back here, there's Ethan McMillan currently still on track. I mean, that's better than he usually has done this season, sorry to say. No, currently runs 18th, not a bad run at all for him, taking advantage of this chaos tonight. Perkins is on pit road as well. What has happened to him? Man. Maybe taking his pit stop? I don't know. There's 2 laps down anyways. I mean, a caution right before the stage probably would have prevented all this, and we would have well over 20 cars in the lead lap with everyone not running out of fuel at the end there. But that's not what happens.
I could go for one of those right now, bro.
Yeah, we know.
Oh, CJ is pitting. He just said on the radio.
So, of course, we still have to make green flag cycles in the second half of the race. Don't get any more caution flags tonight. Payson Lindsay just tried the outside. It really didn't work out for him. He lost a lot of time. Matthew White now is starting to gain. Trenton Wilkin, who won the Xfinity race last night here at Las Vegas, currently runs 5th. After finishing 2nd in the stage, it's been a really good points day so far for Trenton. Hopefully he can continue that good points haul. Payson Lindsay has dropped back to Matthew White. Battle is on for 2nd place now. White to the inside, Lindsay going to try the outside. Heading back into 1 and 2. Ooh, White might get a little bit tight up the racetrack as they head down the backstretch. Dylan Banks is going to try to take advantage of this and maybe try to pull his gap a little more. For 2nd place, still going on. Of course, then Wilkin and Ortega beginning the battle for 5th.
Keep hearing on the radio. These guys a lap down are starting to pit.
All right, so that's maybe going to bring your leaders to the road in a little bit. We'll have to wait and see. Dylan Banks continues to lead here in Las Vegas. Only one win this season for your defending series champion, Dylan Banks. He would love to go to victory lane tonight. But still got to hold on for the win, and of course, execute well in the pit stop. He got Sean Hillquist rolling back on the track. He's multiple laps down. Same thing, the 13 Max DeFilippi. There's the 29 of Sherry. He just came down pit road. He was on the lead lap, racing inside the top 10. There is the 72 of Connor Alves with 33 Clarino. They're pitting. So when will we see your leaders come to pit? Banks, Lindsay, and White probably going to... No, Banks is coming. So we come to lap 100. Dylan Banks comes to pit road. You got to make sure he doesn't speed. It's okay, but just the looks for Dylan Banks. What is it going to be here? We're going to have to wait and see. Is it going to be fuel only? Also battle up front between Lindsay and White for the race lead going on. We got to take a look at that in a minute, but we're also just going to try to see what's the pit stop going to be for Dylan Banks. Is he going to take tires? Ooh, going to make sure it doesn't slide through his pit stall. He doesn't. He is taking right sides at least. We'll see if he takes left sides. No, it's 2 tires for Dylan Banks. Off pit road he goes. And here come your leaders. Back down the front straightaway, he will get lapped, of course, on the inside. Now the question is, when will Pace and Lindsay and Matthew White come to pit road here? Does Matthew White maybe want to try to get around Payson before this happens, or is that too risky? He's to the inside here. He's getting dirty air put on his nose here, so I don't know how much time he's going to be losing because of this. I mean, Dylan Banks isn't exactly in clean air either. Actually, he's better than what Matthew is in. He's right on the bumper of Payson. Trenton Wilkin, he's actually kind of closed this gap up to 3rd place. White on the bottom. Maybe coming this time. No, he's going to stay out. Still going to pressure Lindsay for the race lead. Banks going to try to run hard back there to gain time. He's caught John Butler. That is his affiliated teammate. What is John going to do? Will he just maybe move it out of the way? Banks, of course, on fresher tires. Yeah, John's going to move out of the way here. Affiliated teammate. Next, he's got Alexander Ortega. Not really, of course, affiliated with ETR, but we'll see. The leaders continue to stay out. Payson's coming, though. Here comes Payson Lindsay to pit road. He slides down to the pits. Trenton Wilkin also coming behind him. That looks close for Payson Lindsay. He came in there hot. Even Wilkin gained a little bit because he had to slow down so much at the ends. Here they come. Final pit stop of the day in Las Vegas. This one is kind of ramped up pretty quickly. We've not had an incident caution in nearly 100 laps. Lindsay, nice to his pit stall. Push it to the max. Same thing with Trenton Wilkin. They both don't slide through. They're taking tires. We'll see if it's 4 fresh Goodyear tires here. No, it's 2 for Payson. Now, let's watch the battle for what would be the lead. Here comes Dylan Banks rocketing on full speed down the front straightaway, and he is going to easily clear Payson Lindsay back at 1 and 2. Not even a close competition. Wow. Now, Matthew White is on pit road. He's rolling to his pit stall. Oh, he almost looked like he slid it through. Drivers are really, really catching that close tonight. Man, 2 tires, I'm assuming. Yep. Almost had a bit of a stall. But here comes Dylan Banks. Just going to easily clear the 7 of Matthew White. Where is Payson Lindsay now? That's the battle would be for 2nd place. Here is Lindsay on speed, coming to the outside of the 99. There's Matthew White down in the apron. Lindsay's got good momentum. He should be able to clear Matthew. But Dylan Banks is gone up here. And he only took 2 tires. All of your leaders only took 2 tires. And somehow, someway, what an undercut for Dylan Banks. I think with Lindsay and White battling that hard, that really, really helped out the driver of the 48. Now, driver staying out, Ortega Tomlin. One's yet to pit, I think, from the lead group. Here's Hilton up the racetrack. I mean, we're not out of contention for a caution. It's now to the inside goes Cherry on Andrew Stacy. 3 wide down the front straightaway. Stacy has damage. I don't know why he's running on the racetrack. That car is killed. Lindsay going to lap himself around Alexander Ortega, who still has to pit. Matthew White now trying to do that as well. Heavy traffic up here separating Lindsay, White, and then, of course, Dylan Banks out front. Oh, Cherry slow ahead of Pace and Lindsay. That was nearly a collision. This is actually for position on the racetrack. Cherry had the upper hand. Now Lindsay going to be clear. Pace and Lindsay's had a really good night tonight. He's going to split it 3 wide middle. Don't want to speak too soon because I've kind of commentated a curse a few people tonight so far. But, I mean, he is just going for it. It's not over yet. Can he run down Dylan Banks? We'll have to wait and see. I mean, there's no tire advantage, like, really. 2 tires in the next-gen car doesn't mean a ton. The gap is, what, about 2.1 seconds between Dylan Banks and Pace and Lindsay. Ortega and Tomlin still have to come to pit road here. Just 25 laps to go here at Las Vegas. I mean, 2 cautions early on, of course, involving that big wreck, and we have not had a single caution for incident since. Now less than 25 to go. Ortega, when will he come to pit road? That's the question here. Matthew White now closing to the bumper of Pace and Lindsay, battling for what would be second place. Lindsay is pushing for all he can. He knows this is a chance at another NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series win coming out of pit road is Ethan McMillan. Matthew White, though, pushing to the inside. Oh, car on the wall, Sean Hillquist. That is teammate to Dylan Banks. They are closing ever so slightly on the 48 here. I mean, the tire advantage, especially at Las Vegas, you wouldn't think of at all like a big tire advantage. They're taking especially 2 tires and only running like, what, 7, not even 7 laps more for Dylan Banks. Even probably a little lighter on fuel, so definitely interesting. Ortega and Tomlin still staying out here, though. I mean, there is no way they can make it. I did say that last time, and I was surprised, but I mean, I don't really. No, there's no way. I don't really see a way. Ortega? I thought he was coming. Now he's not. Landon Johnson now ahead of Pace and Lindsay and Matthew White as they head down the back straight. Oh, Johnson not getting out of the way here. Now he gets out of the way.
No, that's my team. That's my teammate, boy.
Well, team orders, we're not going to do that, Landon.
You're right. So I'm just going to right hook this guy.
Yeah, let's not. As they head back into 1 and 2. Ooh, Landon Johnson, he's sliding up the racetrack with Matthew White and Pace and Lindsay. Gets those 2 tight, nearly to the wall. 20 laps to go here at Las Vegas. Ortega, Tomlin. Oh, Tomlin, not Tomlin. Ortega hard on the wall. Is this now going to bring him to pit road? Slam the wall. That was a big shot. He's got Trenton Wilkin right ahead of him now, so he can't pit. Oh, he's very loose. He's losing time even to Eli Tomlin now. Big wide down the front straightaway. They almost come together. Hunsicker through the middle. Man. Banks has kind of gotten caught, though, by Pace and Lindsay and Matthew White. 19 to go. Banks technically still isn't your leader, with Ortega and Tomlin yet to visit pit road. They have stayed out a long time here, probably pushing it all the way to the end to maybe get a lucky caution. That's their strategy here. Never know, a caution could come out, but we haven't had one for cause in about 100 laps. The only thing that's really happened ever since then is when Fawcett and Stacy hit the wall front of the field, everyone avoided them, and there was no yellow. "17 laps to go, though, in Las Vegas." Both these two not giving up to the bumper of Dylan Banks. Will they be there? Oh, Lindsay is starting to slide around. Matthew White all over his back bumper. Payson is not going to try to give up the spot easily. White goes low through 1 and 2. Going to try to get to his quarter panel. Can't get there just yet as they head down the back straightaway. Battle what would be for second, what should be for second, but crazy things can happen. White back to his quarter panel, to his bumper. He is so, so close, almost pushing him down the front straightaway, which might even help Payson a little bit. He's not technically pushing him, but he's all over his back bumper. Back at a 1 and 2. Matthew White on the bottom. Payson Lindsay on the outside lane. You know the 99's been quick all day long, but Matthew White is most likely he's been a little bit quicker for the most part. 7, back to the inside. There on the 99 of Lindsay. He is side by side with him as they head down the front straightaway yet again, but Lindsay got to clear himself down the front stretch. Back in a 1 and 2. Ortega still, though, leading. I mean, when is he going to pit? Really stretching out the strategy long. How about Eli Tomlin, still in second place? I mean, crazy things can happen, so you never know. White, once again, all over the back bumper of Payson Lindsay as they head down the front straightaway. He's there once again to the inside. Through 1 and 2. Here comes Matthew White trying to pressure the 99 as they head down the back straightaway. Trying to ride her along with Matthew White, but doesn't really work. Ortega has pitted with the helmet cam of Matthew White. Look at him just get to the inside. He is doing everything he can. He's going to get to his quarter panel. Going to try to get Payson a little loose. Just can't do it as they head back down the front straightaway. Eli Tomlin will cycle to the lead. Back into 1 and 2.
Oh, caution. Caution's out.
What? Caution. Why is the caution now? Let's see. Oh my goodness. CJ Erdman on the back straightaway just stopped. Why? Let's see. Battle here between him and William Reagan. Erdman just comes down. What is he doing? And hits the wall hard on the back straightaway. I don't know why that was a caution, though. He was not in the racing surface at all. That should not have been a yellow. Pretty bad call for iRacing. I mean, the Clausen and Stacy thing arguably definitely should have been a yellow. This one, definitely not. And this gives the lead to Eli Tomlin. I mean, what? Let's see what happens here. I mean, is everyone going to pit? Is Banks going to pit? I don't know. It's going to make things really interesting. Do tires mean that much? We'll have to wait and see. Caution comes out. First caution for cause in the first half. First caution in the first half whatsoever. First caution for cause in over 100 laps. Banks is on the apron. He is signaling like he's going to pit. Same thing with Lindsay. Are they going to fake? No, they are not. They're pitting. Eli Tomlin also pitting. Can he hold the lead here? And will we see any strategy? Are we going to take 4 tires here? We'll see. This changes everything. And a lucky break for Eli Tomlin, man. Ortega, though, going to stay out because of this. He was somehow on the lead lap as well. Wow. Ortega should have the lead now. And 2 tires for Matthew White and Dylan Banks, but Matthew White has a great stop. They're 3 wide off pit road. I think Matthew White won the race off pit road. Second will be Dylan Banks. Third, the 99 of Payson Lindsay, and staying out is Alexander Ortega. But I don't know how Ortega was on the lead lap. I mean, that's very lucky for him. Tomlin will come out 5th. Good effort. They were 3 wide, though, coming off pit road, and Matthew White barely wins the race off pit road, but he'll restart second now. This is where it gets interesting. Can you give up the front row? I mean, I don't know. I think you can. Do you want to do that? Who's going to take the front? Will 3 go inside? We'll have to see. We're coming to the choose this time by. It's choose time. It's time to make a decision. Here we go. Obviously inside Ortega. But what else between that? Ortega, faking outside for some reason. He'll obviously go inside. Matthew White goes inside with him, and that'll give the front row to Dylan Banks. And Payson Lindsay goes outside the 48. How about William Reagan back there? Eli Tomlin. Cars come to go around there. Reagan is being scored 1 lap down. It's on the apron currently. Probably dropping back. All right, caution comes out, changes everything. Ortega stays out. White wins the race off pit road, chooses the bottom, second in line. That'll give the front row to Dylan Banks, but what kind of restart can that 48 get? Can he maybe hold Ortega? It's going to be tough. The outside has had the disadvantage all day long. Going to be 9 laps to go after a very long green flag run. Caution comes out with Erdman wrecking the back straightaway all by himself. Probably shouldn't have been a caution, but iRacing makes mistakes for some reason. Here we go. 9 remain in Las Vegas. Who is in the best position to win? I don't really know. Ortega trying to win this race. Pace car is in. Matthew White, or sorry, Alexander Ortega. Dylan Banks to the front row. We're back to green. Oh, good restart for the 48 of Banks. I was shocked because of that. The 28 did not get going the best, and Dylan Banks is to the outside. They're 1 and 2. Side by side they go. White, though, on the inside. Oh, what is Ortega doing? He slides up the racetrack. He blocks Matthew White. They're 3 wide down the back straightaway. White's got the bottom through 3 and 4. The 7 going to slide up in front of them and take the lead. Ortega in the wall. He's definitely not giving up. He's back to the bumper of the 7 of White. Through 1 and 2 yet again. Alexander Ortega back outside. Looking for momentum. Oh, Matthew White slides up the racetrack. Ortega even more up the racetrack, but he's maybe there. No, he's not. White with the lead. Seven to go. Now, Dylan Banks falling back here. Battle between him and Mason Lindsay. Matthew White, so fortunate. I mean, that was just insane how he got through that. He's probably very happy. Side by side between Wilkin now and Butler. Oh, up the racetrack goes Suarez. Wilkin nearly going to clear himself on the 09. Coming up 5 to go this time by. Banks is now all over under pressure by his teammates. In the wall a little bit goes that 7 of White as they head down the backstretch. Four to go. Oh, wrong button, sorry. Side by side, now Wilkin to the inside of his teammate, Dylan Banks in the bottom. As they head down the backstretch. Ortega not giving up. We know his rivalry, oh my God, I can't talk, with Matthew White. Wilkin up. Oh, he's gonna shove the front air on Dylan Banks. on his teammate, and Banks continues to fall back. Now John Ball, oh, and a car wrecking down the front straightaway into the wall hard. Richard Cherry. No caution. We stay green. Oh, up the racetrack goes Suarez. 3 laps to go. Coming to 2 to go this time by for Matthew White. For career win number 20. Lap and a half to go as they head down the back straightaway in this playoff opener. iRacing is stupid. And coming to the white flag this time by, look at Trenton Wilkin to the inside of the 99 of Payson Lindsay. Off turn 4 they go, white flag in the air one more time around here at Vegas. Final lap. Through 1 and 2, took advantage of a late race caution. Definitely got very lucky. It was 3rd place as they head down the back straightaway one more final time. And then, of course, took advantage of Ortega and Banks getting together. He'll round off turn number 4 to see the checkered flag. Matthew White wins the first playoff race in Las Vegas. 2nd place going to be Ortega. 3rd across the line, Lindsay. 4th, how about 12 and 7th, or 6th for Dylan Banks. Man, that is so unfortunate for him. After probably winning this race if the caution can come out there. But Matthew White goes to victory lane in 20th career win for him. All right. White wins in Vegas. He will burn it down. First playoff winner this season, 6th win of the year, 20th of his career. Didn't come easy, though. He had to fight back through the fields. Has the first laps he led all day since before the stage for these laps where he just took the lead now. Dylan Banks just didn't have enough. Lost the speed there at the ends. And White will win yet again. Terrible night for his teammate Braden Hunsicker. Finished outside the top 20, of course. What a night, though, in Vegas. All right. So that will do it from Las Vegas. White, of course, your race winner. He will add a win to his total. It's going to be 20 career wins for Matthew White now. Wow. Over these last 4 seasons. So impressive. This one, of course, like I said, did not come easy. All right. So that'll do it from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The playoff opener is over. It was one heck of a show, one heck of a night. Wow. That was one to remember, especially early on. A lot of long green flag running there at the end. But Matthew White will win yet again if he never does interviews, so nice try. But yeah. Post-race interviews coming up. All right, so first of all, going to be Ortega. He finished second. Alexander Ortega, you guys took, of course, advantage of the strategy there late in the race. You stayed out, you battled there Matthew White 3 wide, and you ultimately will come home in second place. So is there anything maybe you had there at the end for the driver of the 7, or was just too little too late?
Yeah, I just screwed up on the restart. I couldn't believe that worked. That strategy to go that long and to actually end up on the lead lap was, I didn't expect it. Um, like, I mean, gosh, I came in, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take 2, get back out there and see what positions we could try and get back, and then also the caution was out. I'm like, oh my gosh, and then we were on the lead lap. I'm like, oh my gosh, and I just did a terrible job on the restart. I think I was too predictable, and so both Banks and Matthew were pretty much on me all the way through 1 and 2, and I got tight off of 2, which allowed Matthew to the inside, and then 3 wide. I cleared Banks, and he kind of got right behind me on the rear end, so that kind of took all the rear air off, and then I had Matthew coming up on the inside, and I smacked the wall really hard. I think it gave it a little wheel damage, and so second is definitely better than 7th or 8th or wherever we're gonna end up, and so yeah, I don't think there was too much that could be done different. Vegas, it's once Matthew got the lead, there wasn't much I could do. There's not much of a second, third lane that you can run that's faster, and so it is what it is.
Well, of course, we had next week on the road in the Xfinity Series at Portland, and then to Martinsville. So two pretty chaotic tracks, to say the least. A road course and a short track. Do you have any maybe expectations on those two races?
Not really. The last road course we went to was Glen, and that went really well. I don't remember. What was the last short track? I guess the last short track I was at was USA because I wasn't there for Iowa. I'd say pretty high expectations. We'll see. Payson Lindsay seems big mad, but I think he's always big mad. He tried to dump me there in 3 and 4 from 5 car lengths back coming to the checker and couldn't do it. So, you know. But it is what it is. You get wrecked. Whatever. You don't get wrecked. Whatever. I'm just racing for wins at this point.
All right. Well, we will see you next week in the Xfinity race at Portland.
Yeah, thank you.
Coming up next, third place finish. What a strong effort for the driver of the 99, Payson Lindsay. Payson Lindsay, you guys finished third. What a strong effort it was tonight. You ran inside the top 5 so much all throughout the second half. You're one of the stars of the show there at the end. So close to a victory, finishing in P3. Was this speed maybe a surprise, or were you just motivated after missing playoffs and just going for wins now?
Yeah, we just kind of flipped the strategy around, different than what we would have done if we were going for stage points, and it fell perfectly into our hands. Really didn't have anything for the leaders there at the end. We were just way too tight in dirty air, just couldn't pass at all. But overall, I think we maybe had a top 5 car. I don't know if we were quite P3 on pace, but just some unlucky wrecks from other drivers in the top 10, and we were just able to execute on that.
So how much, I mean, how much of a relief is this running really well after having such a pretty abysmal season? Like, do you guys think you can maybe keep up this momentum throughout the rest of the year to possibly grab a win here at one of these tracks?
Yeah, just hopefully we can keep this momentum up and see if we can get a win at one of these tracks coming up. Finishing P3, not something I don't think I've done that this season. I think our best finish is like 4th or 5th. So finish P3 here, really good, and hopefully we can carry this momentum.
All right, Payson. Well, we'll see you next week from Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, thank you. I also like to say good racing to Ortega.
All right. So coming up next here, we're actually going to move to the interview booth real quick. Of course, live here for the post-race show, the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series at Las Vegas. The playoff opener is finished. More post-race interviews coming your way. Next up going to be not Trenton Wilkin. It's going to be John Butler, finished 5th tonight. John Butler, a great run for you guys tonight. You're the 3rd highest finishing playoff driver. You finished 5th tonight. Another top 5 finish for the driver, for you, the driver of the 09. So, of course, what was it like? You passed a couple of cars, including your affiliated teammate Dylan Banks there at the end, and getting a top 5 finish here tonight at Las Vegas.
It was a rough one. Well, and it's not rough, but I've had my priorities set straight from the beginning. Just stay out of trouble like I always do. Avoided that first couple lap crash, and then it was just based on just being up in front, being able to break away with that front pack, and just be able to run my own race. And at the end, took 4 tires, and I was able to pass Dylan Banks after my other teammate, the 12 car, I forgot his name, but I was able to follow him through after he passed Dylan Banks. So it was an okay night. It was a nice night, I must say.
So we're of course gonna real quick get the points up here in a minute. That should give us the whole situation here. So what is like? So you should get really good points here tonight. I'm gonna see where you finish in the stage real quick.
Ooh, I don't think I got stage points, unfortunately.
Yeah, you didn't get any stage points in tonight's race, but 5th place points. And a 0x, so that's going to be 14 points for you guys tonight. Pretty good points day all around. How much of a buffer do you think this gives you guys heading next week into Charlotte?
I think it's a good amount because the points is really like obviously the fast guys are in their own league right now, but us like the like fastest guys, we're like almost all have the same amount of points. So I think this should give me a good buffer. Charlotte is always a chaotic track at this in this series, so just look at the Coke 600. So it's all gonna be again all about survival and just trying to get stage point, right pit strategy, and just being there at the end.
All right, John. Well, nice job running here tonight in Las Vegas. A top 5 finish. Really, really solid run there at the end for you guys. And we'll see you next week at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Thank you. I would like to thank my spotter, Barracone Jr. Yeah, amazing job tonight. Amazing. It can make me cry. But good night, everybody.
All right, that was John Butler, Landon Johnson's driver.
Yeah, bro. 2 top 10s.
Yeah. Oh, you got a top 10? I just realized that. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Wow.
bro.
I somehow just realized that.
Started 28th, hard charger.
My lord. All right.
Did I get a cookie?
I don't know. I think we ran out. I was a little bit hungry in the booth tonight. All right, coming up next is going to be Dylan Banks. Dylan Banks, man, you guys were in prime position to win this race. Under 20 laps to go, leading the race by about maybe a second over Pace and Lindsay. And then, of course, caution comes out. Car crashing in the back straightaway. Then you lost the lead on pit road and ultimately fell back there at the end. What was the struggles late in the going here?
It's the same shit, different week. That's how it's going. Guy gets handed a win just about every week. Mickey Mouse, as always, wasn't in position to even win. Did everything right. Just iRacing decides to throw a caution. That shouldn't have been a caution. That's just how it goes.
Still a pretty decent points day for you guys. You got 18 points overall tonight. You had a good strategy there. Talk me through that whole strategy plan, just staying out to the end and ultimately it working out for you guys when some of your teammates as well, especially Sean Hill, because really didn't work out at all for them.
Yeah. I saved fuel to make it to the end of the stage because I knew everybody was gonna either have to pit or they were gonna be really close. So I just sat back and saved fuel to make sure I was good to the end and also good to make it through pit road because I know some of the guys had to tow and all that good stuff on pit road. So I was trying to save a little extra as well to make sure that I could get on the pit road and try to get the lead off of it. And it did for sure. It definitely worked out. And then put under green, took 2, got the lead, and wasn't gonna give it back for sure. It's just how it goes. It seems like this league is just how it goes. BS cautions at the end, and Mickey Mouse he gets his win as usual. There's no candy coating it. He Mickey Mouse this one. He can say what he wants, but the truth hurts. He definitely Mickey this one, and just gonna go get him next week.
All right, Dylan. Well, nice job here tonight at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and we'll see you next week from the day race in Charlotte.
Yep.
Coming up next, going to be Fernan Suarez. What a great night for him. 7th. Ryan, as far as career night for you guys tonight in the Cup Series, P7. I mean, you're one of these drivers that were, of course, running up front, but it wasn't even because of the playoff contenders that had crashes. It was just pure speed for you guys. You guys finished 7th. I saw you guys in the top 5 at one point. Where did the speed come from, and how happy are you with a good day, really showing you can run up front here in the Cup Series?
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously really happy after a huge slump of having just terrible races in a row, like races in a row now. So this good finish was definitely something needed for me. But as to come to my for my speed, um, I just love Vegas in the next gen car. I think I'm able to run and navigate through the dirty air without like burning up my tires so much. Um, but honestly, it was the race was mostly due to strategy, and unfortunately, during my second pit stop towards the end, my final pit stop, we had um, we had an issue where my tires were spinning coming out of the pit box, and then I did not monitor that, and so I spun around on pit road, which lost.
All right, but so, of course, great night for you guys tonight. Will we see you in any more upcoming Cup Series races throughout the rest of the season? I don't know if you heard me. All right, I think we lost Ron as far as. Okay. Next up gonna be Eli Tomlin. What a run for him. Eli Tomlin, I don't know if it's a career best, but it's definitely best for you guys in a while. How about an 8th place finish after even leading some laps here tonight, and having a chance at a good finish there at the end off pit road. So take me through your reaction when that whole strategy worked out somehow when you got the caution and ultimately finishing with the top 10 tonight.
Yeah, man. Vegas is my favorite non-super speedway track. I finished 6th here last season, and if I didn't slide through that pit box on the last pit stop, I really think I would have been fine because I had enough of a cushion to take 4 and still get out in the lead. But choked it away on pit road ultimately. But a lot of fun tonight. Whole lot of fun.
All right, so how much like momentum is this going to give you guys heading through of course not in the playoffs, but 6 races left in this season, of course. Heading next week, of course, the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte should be a fun time as well. I'm hoping I can translate some of the tire saving I used here at Vegas to use some of that at Charlotte and try to piece another good run together. And of course, try to help Connor have Rilla out of his points hole a little bit.
All right, Eli. Well, we will see you next week in Charlotte, and good job on a top 10 run tonight.
I appreciate it, Ethan.
All right, coming up next is going to be Connor Aswell, 9th. Connor Aswell, pretty solid day for you guys, P9 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So, you didn't technically keep the car clean. You wrecked there on the opening lap, but after that, you guys ran pretty well inside of the top 10. So, how were you happy about your speed tonight, ultimately finishing in P9?
Yeah, I kind of was. I qualified like 20th, and I was like, this is gonna be tough because this track is all about track position. So it was a real bummer there. Then of course lap 1, I don't really know what happened, but saw slow cars, moved down, forgot to check my mirrors, and mistake on my part. Hit the tires pretty decently, but only got 30 seconds of optional. So got spared there. But yeah, then just took tires there, kind of just ran around, started getting into a rhythm, saving tires, and about coming to halfway, had a pit again for fuel, and I took 4 tires, stayed out stage. I only fueled up there. Then kept going with my race. Couple other strategy calls, got up to top 10, and ultimately finished P9, which I'm really proud about because, last week finished P2, now P9. I don't remember what I finished the week before. Could have had a top 10 that race, but yeah, I think it was Kansas. But yeah, just overall, just really proud. You know.
So great night though for you guys, and 2 top 10 now. 2 top 10. God, I can't talk. 2 top 10s in a row. Here tonight, now in Las Vegas after finishing top 10 in Daytona. So, is this really a good sign now heading into another mile and a half next week in Charlotte where you can do even more?
I remember last time at Charlotte, I was doing pretty decent. Yeah, it could be a little bit momentum. I'm starting to figure out these cars a little bit more every day. Yeah, I'm at a point where I'm kind of, if I wreck out, wreck out. But these top 10s are really, truly a blessing. So.
All right, Connor. Well, nice job at P9 tonight at Las Vegas, and we will see you next week in Charlotte.
Yep. See ya, folks.
Coming up next, got to be Landon Johnson. All right, Landon Johnson. What a finish for you guys tonight. And just take me through your race of attrition and ultimately finishing in 10th. What a great day.
This is like my favorite track, so this had to start in the back, show my speed, and we got caught up in that crash, and then I had this like 30 seconds of damage the whole race. It's front end damage, and then every time I pit, I go a lap down, so I could never repair my damage. Then we finally got back on the lead lap under that last caution, and we got P10.
All right, so when's the next race you're able to maybe make?
I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
Hopefully next week.
All right, well, hopefully we'll see you next week in Charlotte. So you're going to stay in the booth.
Yup.
All right. I was about to move him.
Best interview of the night, bro.
Yep. Coming up next, we want to move. Come on. It's going to be not Richard Cherry. He's not here. Not William Reagan either. Okay, who's going to be? Max DiFilippi. There's 13th. Max DiFilippi, 13th place finish tonight here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Pretty solid day in your first race in a Ford. So you and your teammate both got top 15 finishes, 13th for you, 15th for Zane Rahman. So, I mean, were you happy about the pace in your race car? I saw you riding inside the top 5 at one point and ultimately finishing 13th.
I'm very excited and happy right now. I mean, I feel like this race I earned a lot of respect in the garage after, everyone used to hate me, and I'm sure some people still do, but talking with everybody right now for the past couple minutes, they seem pretty chill with me again, and great speed. I just burnt up the tires early there in stage 1, and then late in the race we were hoping to get a top 10, but the yellow came out because I don't even know what happened, but it forced us to pit, and it still gave me my best finish, but just a little bit like in the back from what we wanted, but it's okay. Just room for improvement, and I feel like with the manufacturer change and all the changes we're doing to the team, it's just setting us up for success next year.
So, of course, what is your game plan going to be to look to finish out the rest of this Cup Series and of course, Xfinity Series season out strong?
I'm probably gonna update my schedule and run a little bit more Cup races, just to get used to next season going full time and stuff like that. But unfortunately, I will not make the Xfinity or iCar race next week, so that's gonna suck really bad. But we can come back from it. I know it as a team and stuff like that, so we're all good.
All right, Maxwell. Nice job, of course, finishing in 13th tonight. And we'll see you next week from Charlotte in the Cup race.
See you there in tomorrow in the lobbies.
All right. Coming up next, Jacob Clarino, 14th. Jacob Clarino is a really good speed day early on. You qualify in second, a really, really good starting spot for you guys. Ultimately, you finished 14th. Maybe not the finish you guys wanted. Looked like throughout the race, your speed started to maybe fade as the track got a little cooler. So what were you ultimately fighting there towards the end?
Yes, like I thought I'd be good in the race because I felt pretty good in qualifying. Did not think I'd end up on the wrong end of the pit strategy. I think that's what kind of messed me up. And and that I think my luck was pretty good with the Rex. I ended up with a 1x this time. Almost killed the 88. Sorry about that. 20 car was tight and had nowhere to go. Other than that, race pretty good. Glad I finished the car without wrecking.
So of course, is this giving you guys good momentum throughout the rest of the season? So like, how many more Cup starts do you maybe have planned?
I plan on doing another plan on doing Charlotte. I don't know about the rest of the schedule, but I'm doing Charlotte and doing Charlotte for Xfinity and Cup next week.
All right, Jacob. Well, nice job on the race tonight. Sorry, maybe it's not the finish you guys would have wanted, but we'll see you next week from Charlotte Motor Speedway for the second race of the season there.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. All right. Up next, we got, let me see, 2 more to go. Next up, going to be Zayn Rahman, finished 15th. Zayn Rahman, P15 finished tonight for you guys. 2 top 15s for the team with your teammate, of course, finishing in 13th. So top 15 finished. You guys, it was a race of attrition, of course, early on. You made it through all of the chaos. Ultimately, will be rewarded with the top 15 getting some decent points tonight. So ultimately, how happy are you for this result for your team?
Really happy, actually. I'm glad we managed to survive this one. Unlike last year, I like what happened at Kansas. This time I actually managed to keep the car in one piece and didn't get wrecked.
So of course, we head to Charlotte next week. So what's your confidence level on that Charlotte Motor Speedway? You did race there I think is that where you made your Cup Series debut?
Yep, that is where I made my Cup Series debut with Questionable Motorsports. Yes, that's correct.
So of course, rest of the season here, second race of the season was not supposed to happen at Charlotte Motor Speedway, but it is. So what is your confidence level heading into that race coming up next week?
I had a really great run like in the first stage, like at the Coke 600. So I'm sure I can like do a lot better this time now that I have like a lot more experience at Charlotte.
All right, Zane. Well, nice job finishing in 15th tonight, and we'll see you next week from Charlotte.
Yep, thank you. Also, one more thing. Shout out to Jacob Clarito for that battle for the free pass that time. That was fun. That's it.
All right, we'll see you next week. Final interview of the night going to be Cole Clausen. Unfortunately, got taken out in this one. Cole Clausen, man, what an unfortunate finish for you guys. We're running nearly inside the top 10. Andrew Stacy gets a loose ahead of you. If he puts you into the wall really hard, ends your day, and you finish outside the top 20. You still got stage points. That kind of saves you. And you guys, after tonight, are actually going to line up 10th in points. It's going to be, I believe, 4 or 5 or so points below the playoff cut line. So what happened there to ultimately, from your perspective, take you out of the race?
Yeah, I was just falling behind the lap car of Stacy because he did have quite a bit of speed, and I didn't really want to, run the top for 5 laps or whatever, trying to get around him because I was really just in tire save mode, and all of a sudden he just got loose, which I thought was really interesting because I don't think I got really all that loose a single time tonight, and I was pretty much right behind him. I didn't hit him at all. It wasn't netcode at all. He just got loose, and so I went to his outside, and then just like what everyone does, they overcorrected and just got thrown on the wall, and then I had 5 cars flying up behind me with no caution being thrown. So I just had to get out of the way of everyone. And thankfully, I did. I don't know if he did or not. I think he was in the middle of the track, but yeah, I mean, he's an idiot. I mean, I don't I don't know what else to say. I mean, he's ran in almost every single race this season, I think, and I don't even think he was that close to making the playoffs. So there's a reason for that. So, but the yeah, Landon's even laughing. Landon agrees with me. So, but yeah,
I've
the
been
stage.
I've been Andrew Stacy before.
Yeah, you get the feeling. So, so we got stage points after barely saving enough fuel, which I'm honestly really thankful for. So, going into my one of my best tracks now at Charlotte, I'm really just hoping for a top 5 there. That's really just gonna completely save me because I'm not good at Martinsville either. But we'll see how it goes, I guess.
All right, Cole. Well, we'll see you next week from Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yes, sir. Also racing the lobbies tonight. See you there.
And that will do it from Charlotte. So, of course, top 10 finish. How about it for Landon Johnson? So amazing. So, Landon, just give me your final thoughts on this one tonight.
I wish I just did get a damage, bro, because I think I could have ran, like, I'm not going to have, like, probably could have ran at least inside the top 10, but it is what it is, bro.
Yes, it is. And we will, of course, be live for NASCAR Racing FedEx Lobbies tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll give you the schedule real quick. It's going to be GT4s at Circuit of the Americas, Gen 6s at Rockingham, and, of course, Indy cars at Pocono for the main event. So that should be fun coming up tomorrow night. So that will do it. From Las Vegas Motor Speedway, we are done in Vegas. We hope you enjoyed the playoff opener for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series this season. What a race it was. And that'll do it. So, of course, we'll be in Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Cup Series, Portland for Xfinity, Road Atlanta for iCar, 3 different racetracks, why not? And that'll do it for tonight at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So, on behalf of all team owners, drivers, commentators, officials, everyone involved making this league what it is, we will see you next week for official races, starting at Road Atlanta for the iCar Pro Series. Of course, tomorrow night for NASCAR iRacing FedEx Lobbies. So, good night from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We'll see you tomorrow for Lobbies.